Hello and welcome to Records Rebuilds. We've got another C8 Z06 Reservation Allocation Production News episode for you today. Starting off with just a little bit of bad news, possibly. I think most of you already know that it was announced this week that UAW 2164 Local, which is the local union for the Bowling Green factory, announced that they had rejected the most recent offer from the factory, and so that means we could get into a situation where there's a second strike for the C8. So we've had strike number 1, we've had pandemic, we've had tornadoes. I think a manager got turned into a pillar of salt at some point, and then maybe strike number 2 could make the car even more desirable and rare, or even harder to get, of course. So we'll just have to wait and watch. Anything you want to know about that, just look up Corvette strike on Google, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. So the rest of it is all good news. The second part is just kind of some general car news. Mecum Kissimmee auction this last weekend. Let's see. To check the actual numbers, I'll go to the cell phone here. But they did $216 million worth of sales over the past 11 days, and they're calling that a record for a collector car auction, the most dollars worth of cars ever auctioned in one place. So people are spending a lot of money on cars right now, especially desirable cars like the Corvette. The C8 Corvettes did incredibly well. The few that were auctioned there, the average C8 sale price for the 2020s, 2021s was $120,700. The C8R that was for auction there went for $165,000, and that's just a sticker package, which is just kind of crazy. But there was no C8 that sold for cheaper than $97,500. And that's pretty amazing when you consider there's a 10% buyer's premium on there. The demand is there for the C8, and the Z06 seems like it's even more set to go to the moon. But the big news I've got, which is specific to me and to a lot of people that watch my channel, is some Ciocca Corvette news. They just launched a website, and I will put the link down in the description, so you guys can just click on that there. All you have to do is type in your email, and it will tell you what place in line you are currently. So you can see how many people have dropped out before you. It's great. Ciocca has never given this type of information before, and now they're going to update it the 1st and the 15th of every month, and you'll be able to know where your spot in line is and how that changes, who dropped out ahead of you, and all of that stuff, which will be extremely helpful, because obviously this list is a lot longer than any of us ever anticipated. I'm going to go over the numbers in just a second there. We've seen some people, this is how many spaces I gained. Nobody in the first 500 spots gave up their spot in line. Not one single person, which is just amazing. So let's take a look. I made a graph. We'll just take a look at where people are dropping off the list and what percentage and things like that. Okay, so all of this data comes from the new Z06 verification tool on the Ciocca website. You can get there by going to cioccacorvette.com/Z06-verification-tool.htm. That link will be down in the description. So when we take a look at this graph, there's obviously a big section missing in the middle, but this is cobbled together off of people that I know and people that have posted their numbers on Corvette Forum. So really significant stuff. So first off, so far, we know that in the first 506 people, nobody canceled their reservation, which is pretty crazy. I would have thought there would have been a few more than that, people who were looking for a better spot but didn't get it. And then, by 869, we've only got 20 people who have dropped out. And then in the first 1,100 people, only 45 requested their deposit back, which is just crazy. Now, on the high end of the spectrum here, I do know one person that their original spot in line was 5,000 through 5,500. So we don't know what their actual original spot was, and they are the last plot on this graph here. But they are, they dropped 871 spots. So I just put 5,250 for their number just to kind of give us an average there. But just amazing that out of the first roughly 5,200 people, only 871 dropped. So if you do the math on that, we're talking about 16% have dropped out of the total number, and then about 4.5% of the first 1,200 have dropped out. So really just pretty amazing. So there you have it. Those are just crazy numbers. That is a list 5,000 people long of $5,000 deposits, and less than 16% of people have dropped off the list, which is just crazy. Insane demand for this car, insane demand for any kind of cool car right now. But I think this one is special. I really do. Kind of a special demand there. So if you guys would, if you're on the Ciocca list, if you would, just in the comments down below, go ahead and post your original spot in line, and how many places you moved up in the line. And I will post the link in the description to my graph that I made, and I will keep updating it as time goes along, and we can get an even better idea of how many people dropped out of the line, where, and all of that stuff. Probably a little bit too much information, but we're waiting, we're excited. What else are you going to do? If you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And just thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. If you didn't know, this channel was originally created for videos about project cars, and we are right in the middle of rebuilding a 2015 Z51 Corvette. If you click on the box to the right here, you can see the playlist that has all the rebuild videos in that series. There'll be more coming soon with front bumper, airbags, and seatbelt repair videos.